Ziggy-zagga, ziggy-zagga. Oi, oi, oi. Ziggy-zagga, ziggy-zagga. Oi, oi, oi.
Hey, folks, and welcome to a very special Oktoberfestapalooza episode of Drinking Alone with Friends, a podcast where three friends drink alone together, and my name's Chris.
Was los es Tud.
And I am your tied for second place on the Frosty Mug of Wisdom champion, Obert.
Oh,
Guten
man.
Tag.
I just want to say that intro was wunderbar. So there you go.
As they say in Germany.
Yep, exactly.
I'm excited. It's that
Willkommen.
magical time of year
It is.
where we take a break from Oktoberfestapalooza.
and do actual October. When is Oktoberfest this year? When is it? We always say we're going to go. When is it? Officially.
Jets.
I have that.
October.
Yes.
Andy. The Saturday, September 16th to Tuesday, October 3rd.
Oh,
Jets.
right now.
Yeah, it's almost like we timed this episode out.
That's
or
so
something.
weird.
Yeah.
That's weird how that happened. Well,
Yeah.
I know. Actually, is it okay for us to release Oktoberfestapalooza during Oktoberfest? It's for the people
I
that
don't
miss
know.
it. It's for the people that miss it, huh? Like they're like,
Right,
oh man, it hasn't been Oktoberfestapalooza in like, I don't know, 14 days.
2 weeks.
How are we supposed to ever get by?
But yeah, it was funny on the group chat. Chris every day was texting. He said, T minus 14 days till Oktoberfest, 13, 12. He just could not stop. It was clearly the only thing on his mind.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Countdown to Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
I'm always so excited for Oktoberfest. Favorite time of year. As you can tell by my Birkenstocks, is that what I wear?
That's what the Germans wear.
Lederhoser.
That's the one. That's what I was thinking of. Yep, that's the one too. That too. I wear both. I wear both of those. Playing the bagpipes, just like a true German.
Those German bagpipes. It's my favorite episode of the year. It's up there. I mean, I have a few favorite episodes of the year. It's up there with our Oktoberfest. I mean, with our, Mr. Oscar episode, our Cinco de Mayo episode.
Yep.
We have some good ones all year round, but I do love me a good Oktoberfestapalooza.
Yeah.
How are you celebrating personally, Todd, in your life?
Drinking.
You're drinking?
Yeah.
Are you translating this podcast through Chat GPT into German right now?
Ja. Das ganze Gerede über das Oktoberfestapalooza macht mich durstig.
There you go.
Wow. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Prost.
Well, I know I'm very excited. Do you mind if I crack open an Oktoberfestapalooza beer here?
Oh, please do.
Us drinking.
There must be some really bad lag between here and Connecticut.
I know, right?
But Ted, you gotta say those German lessons have been paying off.
Kein ganze Folge auf English.
Yep. That accent too. That accent work is great.
Ja.
Feel transported.
So I have a beer series I brought before, but this is the new and updated 2023 version. This is from Mountains Walking. They got their Bavarian blue and white checked flag version. This is their Chop and Wood series that they do. They do this every time of year. I think last one was like a Rausch beer, where it was like a smoky beer. This is a more traditional fest beer, Oktoberfest style, similar to what you would get like Sam Adams kind of thing.
Ja.
But they celebrate every year. They do it right. So I was excited when I saw this in the store. Excited to bring it to the pod. My first Oktoberfest of the year. In a quick update on our two favorite segments, old weather news and weather is different in different places. It was like upper 50s today. So it's starting to feel like Oktoberfest weather here in Montana. I got my flannel on. I'm ready to celebrate. You know, it's that changing of the seasons that gets us all so excited.
Boo, Herbst.
T-Rex, easily.
Oh,
Give
yeah,
me
you
those-
are.
Would see you.
You are
Gibte
dead.
es Dunasorie?
I love how like Tud already knew what I was going to say. That yeah, you are host if a T-Rex is coming after you. He could see you through like a mile of this beer. It is
Do worst.
beautiful amber
Gert
color though.
Gefferson.
I love how much Tud is committed to this bit because, like, there's no translation. I'm not going to go and translate and put subtitles over you. So it's just incomprehensible German for, I'm going to say 99% of our audience. But for that 1%, Tud's got that excellent German for you. So, but yeah, that beautiful light amber color. We're talking like 9 SRM maybe. I don't know. It's very light.
Wir haben viele deutsche Fans.
It's got that classic crisp Oktoberfest. You can almost smell people partying when you breathe this beer in. Let's see how it tastes.
Parte and Lederhosen?
Really, really crisp, as you probably could have guessed from looking at it, that this is much lighter in body and flavor than a Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Probably more like a traditional German fest beer lager. I don't know, man. I'm struggling with what to say here. What are some good German Oktoberfest beers that I could compare this to?
Pauliner's the one
Paulaner.
that comes. Yeah. Sam Adams, you already mentioned.
Hogarden?
Yeah,
Yep, there's one.
yeah. It's similar to a Hogarden, but I think Hogarden's got a little bit more of that floral spiciness. Probably more similar to a Paulaner. You're right. But yeah, very much crushable. If I had a whole liter stein of this, I would be very happy to just
Spaten?
leave it. No, I feel like Spaten is heavier than this. I did think about Spaten, but maybe I'm confusing their like Bacchanator beer with their lighter offering. But again, super crushable, very drinkable. It's called chopping wood, so I think it's great if you're outside chopping wood all day. You need something, this is transitioning from a lawn mowing beer to a wood chopping beer. 6% ABV. Again, crisp, clean, delicious. Really, I think they hit the nail on the head. I would be, when we have our Whitefish Oktoberfest, if this was on tap, I would be all over it. But that would be a new one, a new welcome surprise. I don't know. It's, again, just something you could have a lot of liters of steins. So I'm going to give this beer 3.75. It's really good. There's nothing that makes it break that 4.0 barrier, though, unfortunately. Like a little bit more complexity, even though I was just lavishing praise on how clean and crisp and devoid of a lot of adjuncty flavors it is. A little bit more complexity, I think, would get this a little higher rating for me.
Rutenburg?
Sure. You could just be saying gibberish in German, and we would not have any.
9.
idea. So
Reinheitsgebot?
Raheinsgebot.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, it's
Yeah.
definitely a traditional lager following the Reinheitsgebot laws.
Todd does not listen to his own podcast. Rutenburg. That's the Oktoberfestapalooza purity laws.
Right, yeah. We say it's got to be tasty. That's the only law on this show. It's got to taste like yummy beer. I was right, though. It was German gibberish. So,
Yeah.
okay, so I give it a 3.75. Now, again, this is the Chopping Wood series from Mountains Walking, and I'm imagining that there's a lot of them because of just what they name their fall seasonal, I think.
Oh yeah, there's enough. There's enough for all of them.
So is there another?
So this is the fest beer. Is the you probably should be able to find it with that. Yeah.
Von 422 check-ins.
I don't think it's going to be that high. This is not in my wheelhouse, but I think it's under 4 territory. I'm gonna say 386.
False.
Is that being correct?
No.
9.
It's close.
Oh, it's got a 9?
Dry, comma, acht.
Can you translate that for me?
3.8.
3.8.
for you.
Okay, so I got 0.06 off.
Yeah. Pretty stout.
Yeah.
Okay, on the board,
On the board.
which I will take. Leaving not making it a total easy one for you guys, but still plenty of wiggle room.
Plenty that's a big word. I mean, geez, you gotta get close. What is close? 0.05 is close, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got like a 0.11 window, really.
True.
You know?
True. All you gotta do is tie, baby.
That's right. That's right. Man, the flow of this podcast is so weird without one of our co-hosts speaking English. Gotta say. But I'm going to be really impressed if he can review his beer all in German.
See.
Bin ich an der Right to trinken? Ich werde auf English reinstern, which means I shall review in English.
Okay.
Oh, this is where the bit dies, guys. We loved it.
So I'm going to sit back and enjoy my Oktoberfest beer while, Todd, what do you got for us this week?
So my beer this week is called the Kaiser's Oktoberfest. It is a Marzen lager.
Now, how do you say that in German?
Kaiser's Oktoberfest.
Okay, good. You passed the test.
I'm good. It's brewed by Norbrook Farm Brewery, which is a brewery I've never had before. On the can, there's some cows, a sheep, a pig, some other pigs. They're all getting ready for the cow to serve them pints of Oktoberfest beer.
Nice.
6.2% ABV. It says we brewed this beer to honor Heinz Gudenlach, known as the Kaiser. Heinz led with a firm but fair hand in the woods, at the sawmill, and at home. This traditional copper-hued lager is our way of paying homage to him in our Local Heroes series.
Okay.
As I said, I've never had this brewery before, so I was interested in trying it.
Now, yeah, are they a Connecticut brewery?
They are a Connecticut brewery. They're out of Colebrook, Connecticut, which is like...
Now, are you just making up town names now? Or...
Yeah, I'm trying to choose the most German-sounding things in Connecticut. No, this is up in like the northwest corner. When you're going... I've seen the brewery before. As I was going to Great Falls, on my one trip to Great Falls.
Great Falls, Montana?
No, Great Falls Brewing Company in Connecticut. It's on the way.
Okay.
I guess it's on the way there and on the way back, technically. Because like
I
right
guess
in the
it's
middle.
probably also on the way to Great Falls, Montana. If you went, you know.
Just keep
True.
going.
Yeah.
True. But no, that's where a friend of the pod, Jonas, works, is at Great Falls.
Okay.
But yeah, so I've never had a beer by these guys. I thought it was going to be interesting. I saw this when I was at Big Y, and I was like, ooh, an Oktoberfest beer. And I knew I needed one, so I grabbed it, and I decided to bring it. Now, in true Oktoberfest fashion, I think it's required that you either drink your beer out of a stein or out of a boot. And Obert, I noticed...
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that you didn't drink your beer out of either one of them, so it's kind of disappointing.
That's fair.
But don't worry, I picked up the pace, and I decided to drink out of my Labyrinth boot.
Well, look at that.
So this beer here, amber in color. You could definitely see a T-Rex right through it. You're not hiding from it at all. Or, as the Germans say, Dinosaurier. On the nose, smells like a German beer. It's got the nice frothy head that's just sticking around. Kind of makes it look like a real boot with the kind of the white fur at the top of the boot.
Yeah. Maybe it's like if you had a sock or something, too, sticking out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like an Ugg boot.
There you go. Exactly like an Ugg boot.
Like the Germans wear.
Still always confused as to why in the movie Beer Fest, when they chug from the boot, they have to twist it so the air bubble doesn't pop. Why don't they just drink it from the side so that way there is no air bubble?
No. Well, that's... Okay, I can see why you're confused. But what happens is they use the air bubble momentum to like to force the rest of the beer down their throat. So like there's a strategic advantage to the twist.
Right, but if you notice, the reason they even developed the twist is because they were unable to figure out how to chug the beer with the air bubble in the toe popping in their face.
Right.
So I always wondered why they just didn't. I understand that they eventually solved that how to do it, and it also improved their drinking quality. But I'm surprised that they had to actually develop a math problem to chug versus just turning the boot to the side.
Yeah, it is weird because that's really the literally only plot hole in the entire movie. So I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like such a well thought out movie that I don't know how they managed to overlook that.
I agree. I mean, one of the characters died, and they were like, "How do we fix this plot hole?" Oh, twin brother. Of course.
I want to watch that movie again now. Should be a required viewing for us for this episode every year.
We really
should
should.
be.
We should do like a triple viewing every year of
Like a director's commentary.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
That should be like a bonus episode or something. And just be like, "Oh, this is us watching a movie."
Yep.
Hours of
Well,
silence.
the whole idea is they're supposed to watch it with us, but they turn it like halfway down and then they can hear us and the movie.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So like we all like sync it up and hit play at the same time with the listeners.
That could be how we finish the rest of our Oktoberfest beers. Is we do this while watching Beerfest, and we have to finish them
There
all
we
by
go.
the end of Beerfest. The rest
We
of our
have to
4-pack.
drink one every time they drink one. Is that how it works?
There you go.
We got to practice our boot spinning.
Yeah.
But let's dive in. Let's see how it tastes. Prost.
Prost.
So I will say this is my first Oktoberfest of the year. I did not have one at the Big E, which is out of character usually. But it was too
Oh
hot.
yeah, that's like, yeah, I hear you. It's weird, man, having early season Oktoberfests in Connecticut. It's like, I can't drink this beer, but it's 90 degrees out, you know?
Yeah, and generally I go to the Big E like one of like the last days, but we went the first day or the second day. So generally it's later in September where it's been cold for a week or two, or colder for a week or two. But we went this past week and it was awesome. So the beer, it is a little malty, a little crackery, biscuity, I think is the term I'm looking for there.
Oh, there you go.
It's got a lot of. I'm trying to figure out what the flavor. It's not full. Like a lot of these are usually full biscuity, but this is more like sweet, I guess, like a sweet biscuit. Very good, very crisp, very clean.
Like a
cookie.
Biscoff cookie
Yeah.
that you get on an airplane.
Yeah, kind of like a Biscoff cookie.
Like a graham cracker.
No, not a graham cracker. I'm gonna say Biscoff cookie. But also with a lot of like malt flavoring too, like a malty Biscoff cookie. Very
Okay,
good though.
yum.
It's delicious. Never been to Norberg Farm, as I said, but if this, I don't even know where you get other versions of their beer. Like you might just have to drive to the middle of nowhere, Connecticut, to try it. But if their beer is anything like this is a good style Marzen. A little slightly different, not as dry and malty as they usually are. This is, like I said, a little bit more sweet, a little bit more biscuity, but still some malt. Solid drinker. Looking forward to finishing the rest of the 4-pack. And I think that's all you can really say about Oktoberfests.
But you'll be looking out for more beers from this brewery.
Yeah, for sure. I think it seems like they know what they're doing for brewing. Pretty happy. They even put their phone number on the can. A lot of breweries don't put their phone numbers on
Call
their
'em.
can.
Let's call them right now.
I don't know if they still do, but I know Dogfish Head did for a while.
Well, in case you want to visit
like-
these guys, they're at 204 Stillman Hill Road in Colebrook, Connecticut. Phone number is 860-909-1016.
Okay, give them a call. Tell them Drinking Alone with Friends sent you. And ask where we can get their beer. Because, so, I've heard that Big Y has premium beer selection.
Sometimes.
At certain Big Ys.
Sometimes. So, generally at the Big Y we go to, it they always have some wandering into the fog. Generally a lot of 12% actually, now that I'm thinking about it. And then they had some other random stuff from different breweries in Connecticut that I was like, wow, back east had, a Gelato Girl there and Triple Scoop. Like, there was some good stuff. Back east also had their Oktoberfest there too, that was originally what I was going to buy. But I saw this one and I was like, oh, I've never had this brewery. Seems like a good time to try it out would be for Oktoberfest.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, you'll have to
I'll bring you to
See
Big
some
Y
of their
when
other
you're in town,
varieties.
if that makes you feel better.
Sure. That's the thing I always wanted to do when I go back to Connecticut.
There's
Go
better
to Big Y.
There's better beer stores, but I'll bring you to
No.
Big Y just because
There's-
I don't
Okay.
want you to feel left out.
You got to go to Big Y, and you got to get the Vince Woolfork special pizzas and subs.
Oh, the turkey.
Is that what it is? I don't know.
Yeah.
when I lived up north, I always looked forward to the Big Y commercial during the Super Bowl. There was always one. I must have wasted all of their budget on it, but
Hey, it worked though, because you knew
True.
to look forward to it.
I
True.
did every year. I was like, this doesn't fit, but hey,
Did it make you ever want to go shopping at Big Y?
No, it's too expensive. Golly.
So fun
Big
fact,
Y-
if you lived in Connecticut, you would learn that Big Y is actually cheaper now. Stop and Shop is by far the most expensive grocery store around.
Really? Oh, wow.
Big Y is like cheaper now and better.
Big Y back in the day was too expensive for my blood. My mom always used to go there. I was just like, Mom, we are too poor for this. We'll waste all our money at Big Y. I don't care how many Vince Woolfork commercials you've seen, but
I'm gonna give this. It's a good Oktoberfest. I'm gonna say it's a 3.75. I mean, it's right down the pipe. It's exactly what you want from Oktoberfest. I don't think you can give an Oktoberfest above or below a 3.75. I don't think it's possible. Because we don't pay for the new Untapped, so I can't give it like a 3.8 or a 3.9. But it's definitely not a 4, right? I mean, there's no such thing.
Bold claims.
yeah, I know, right? Well, what do you think?
I hear what you're coming from, though. I will say that.
Yeah, it's
But
brewed to be Rutenburg.
Yeah. No, I think
Tasty
you could
beer.
I think you could get worse though. I think you could end up falling below a 3.5 if it was a bad Oktoberfest. It was like skunky.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, but I don't think there's ever been like you've ever had like a good Oktoberfest and you're like, hey,
I'm locking in a 4.0 right now,
3.75.
just to spite Tut.
Just to prove us wrong.
Oh man! All right, what do you think the other 372 individuals think of this beer?
That's not a lot.
No.
That was like my amount
comparable
of check-ins. It was
comparable
like almost
to
the same.
Obert's. Yeah.
Well, they're about as populated of a place as Montana, so that goes with it.
The Montana of Connecticut. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Obert's beers rating, and I'm gonna go with a 3.8.
Good. I like the logic.
Well, me and Obert are at least going to still be tied because it's a 3.83.
Oh, no,
So
I'm
sneak it in
first.
there. Yeah, you're first. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
At this point, Chris is only rooting against one person.
You threw me off. I was like, wait, did Obert and I tie or something? I was like, I thought he
Nope.
got 0.06.
No, he
No,
did.
it's just because I beat Obert. So
Right. Yes, it's me versus Obert at this point. Like if I get points, sweet. I need to get at least one. I need to nail this right now.
We're 6 away. We're 6 behind Todd.
I know.
So we could get there by the end of the year. We both can't. One of us could.
So you should throw.
go on a tear.
You should start throwing. Just start throwing points.
Hey, 0.06. I did my best.
Oh man.
I'm just gonna blink 382 times before I give you the
lost
answer
count.
on the
You
start.
start again. You start again. Oh man, you were recording for 4.5 hours. What happened? Don't worry. Don't worry about it.
turns out it's hard to count 383 blinks.
I blinked when you blinked. Fuck. Okay, hold on. Let's start over.
At the end, Chris is like he's holding his eyelids open so he can't blink.
Sometimes if we go long recording, we have a couple high ABV beers. I have a hangover. I could imagine waking up on a Wednesday morning and being like, "Why are my eyelids so sore today?"
I have to call in to work with sore eyelids.
You gotta start.
Got jacked eyelid muscles.
Yeah, you gotta start working them out.
Yeah.
Between now and the next episode, just keep on blinking.
Yep.
Oh man.
Well,
Okay.
I went, so it is time to hear about Chris's possibly warm beer.
Potentially. Okay. So
Now, I think Chris bought this beer, I think the beginning of August when they first started selling Oktoberfest beers, right?
yeah, pretty much. So I just want to say, because I as they were alluding to, I had so many Oktoberfest beers already, but I love them so much. I can't stop. I can't stop. So I had to run out and grab a restock today. of Oktoberfest. Now, would you believe when I tell you that I went to Food Lion, which is just a grocery store down here, and this is the only Oktoberfest beer that they had there.
Please tell me it's the Sam Adams one.
September 19th. No, not even Sam Adams. No Sam Adams, no nothing. Like, this is the only one they had.
That's so disappointing because I know you were like, again, so excited for having Oktoberfest beer this week. You had planned it out meticulously months ago. You were like, I'm drinking the best Oktoberfest beer I can find.
I mean, technically it is.
Germany. It's true.
Technically,
none of those statements are lies.
No, so I told the guys, I was like, listen, drank through my Oktoberfestapalooza beers. You know how I do. Marzen, all day, day. Feist beer, you know, whatever. I was like, I'll stop on the way home and I'll pick one up. And like, literally, I picked one up and that was the one. Like, so, but I'm bringing from Old Mecklenburg Brewery, the Old Mecklenburg Brewery, Mektoberfest, which is, of course, a Marzen lager. So, Tud, me and you actually went to this brewery when you visited one time in Charlotte.
Oh, is that the one? Yeah, that's the one that was like around the corner from like Yahweh.
No. That's New Mecklenburg.
This is old with an E.
Oh, this was the German. This is the one that looked like the German beer hall.
Exactly. Yes.
Gotcha.
So they do not many beers, but they are all of German descent. It's a pretty cool place if you ever get to go. Food's very good, nice outdoor space, looks like a German beer hall, big, huge, long tables, all that cool stuff. So if you're ever in...
So it's legit. I was worried that you were going to bring like, this is Modelo's Oktoberfest beer.
No. This is a legit brewery, yeah. They're one of the bigger ones coming out of Charlotte, so this was in Charlotte.
But not just a legit brewery, like a legit German brewery.
Yeah. Pretty cool spot if you ever get to go.
They have bratwursts on.
They do.
Like, you can order bratwursts or spaten. Not spaten. Spatzel. Spatzel.
Yes.
That's the word I was looking for.
Another cool thing, and I think this is the first time I've ever gotten bottles. There's like a little pull tab on the bottle to like do this. I'm glad that worked. Oh, weird. It's like cheap. I've never had that before. That's weird.
Maybe that's how the Germans do it.
That's cool.
Maybe.
A pull tab bottle cap.
Yeah, pull tab bottle cap. That's kind of neat. So, but here she be. Let's see. Oktoberfest. Oh, who can even keep count at this point?
Look at that Stein you're drinking out of.
Great Stein. I almost went downstairs to get the Stein, but I was like, oh, you know how I do. All my Steins are dirty. Just like can't help.
I almost went down to get the Stein, but I didn't.
The problem is, like, I didn't want to pour a wine pint of beer into a 1 liter Stein.
That is very true. That's very true.
And also,
you guys gonna get boots.
We wouldn't have known the T-Rex ability of these beers,
Well, no. I mean, I guess if you have like a legit like pewter Stein, but like it's a ceramic. Yeah. Yeah. All the Steins that I have are like clear, and I have a boot.
Oh.
You guys should definitely invest in boots. I'm just letting you know. Like, boots are... I should just start drinking all my beers out of boots.
I don't know why you don't. You should, really.
It makes beers taste better.
I don't know why, except when you have to wash the glass. That would kind of be annoying.
Yeah, definitely, I can see that.
Dishwashers make boot glasses a lot easier, I'm guessing.
Maybe my handle will be a brush. A bottle brush.
You got to try this boot-shaped bottle brush.
Pairs well with Dawn Power Wash. All right, here we go. So here it is.
Nothing pairs well with Dawn Power Wash.
Everything does. It's wonderful. The head gone. Gonzo. No frothy boot head right here. Gonzo. It is a nice amber color. It looks pretty clear. A little bit hazier. Not quite as crystal clear as Obert's, but it illuminates pretty well. I think you're still maybe in a bit of trouble. I think you're in a bit of trouble if a T-Rex comes a knocking.
If you perfectly still, maybe.
Just maybe, yes. But not quite as crystal clear as Obert's. Obert's was all the way see-through. This one's got a little bit of darkness to it, a little bit of some haze to it. But let's see yours is super clear. I mean, it smells. Yeah, Tud's is really clear too. Mine's the hazy boy of the chat. So smells like a Marzen, smells like an Oktoberfest. Let's see. Are we gonna? I mean, I already locked in a 4.0, so 4.0 before I even call my shot.
I hope this thing is like terrible.
I know, right?
I hope it's the best beer Chris has ever had.
Yeah, I have to be stuck at a 4.0. I can't go any higher. It's just the rules. All right, here we go. Prost.
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 Hope it's 80% as good as the best beer he's ever had.
Well, I want to just dispel any worries that there was about this not being cold enough, because it is very chilly right now. So
you could use one of these.
I'll hold it up and you scan it.
All right, ready?
Yep. Oh wait, hold on. There you go.
It says it's 82.4 degrees.
See, chilly. That's Kelvin. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's missing. It's very crisp. It's got a really, I'm gonna say coppery aftertaste, but I don't know if that's the right way to say it. But like, definitely a little bit something like a little tingy on the aftertaste. I feel like I know
what you're talking about. Metallic taste. Yeah.
I feel as though, which I do get from bottles every once in a while. So like, but this must be brand new, so I don't think it's an age thing. I'm missing something. I'm missing like I almost feel like there's no flavor. It's just crisp coolness until the aftertaste. So I'm missing like the whole body of the Oktoberfest that I'm accustomed to. You know what I mean? So like,
it is liquid nitrogen temperatures though, so maybe you need to let it warm up a little bit
slightly
to get more flavor.
I guess that is true. Yeah, I'm trying to I feel like maybe it is too cold. Maybe it is too cold right now for me to get a good bearing on it. I get a little bit of flavor in the middle, and then it does have like a off-putting aftertaste, at least for me. It's not unbearable, but definitely not the best beer I've ever had, which is sad because I generally like these guys. They're not like blowing things out of the water, but they're generally pretty good.
They make
I know
food.
that off flavor you're talking about though, that metallic taste, which is like I think pretty common with these types of lagers.
Yeah.
Definitely part of the style, I feel like in some beers.
Right. And yeah, like I said, I feel like I need a little bit more in the middle. It just kind of gives me like cool and crisp. Like if this was like a Pilsner with no aftertaste, like it would be wonderful, you know, cool, crisp, like delicious. But I kind of need, especially if I'm expecting an Oktoberfest, I need some of that, you know, nice full-bodied middle, which I'm not getting. So,
but what I'm hearing though is that it's a 4.
4, nailed it. Yeah. If I'm being true, I'm probably going to. You know what? I'm generally a pretty gracious grader on Untapped. I think many people will say. I'm gonna give it a 3 1/4. I'm gonna drop it down to a 3.25. It is good for like the first half. Again, if I wasn't drinking a Marzen, and then the aftertaste kind of loses me. I'm glad I bought a 6-pack. Needless to say. So.
So you have something to drink on episode 450 when we do our oldest beers in the house.
No, I'm gonna go ahead. I've been drinking through my Connecticut, Massachusetts haul, like, and
all the Oktoberfest that you've been just constantly buying.
Yes, and all the Oktoberfest. So like, I need something to slow me down. So these might be a good slow me down beer, you know. Yeah, not my favorite Oktoberfest, and I clearly just gaga for Oktoberfests. Yeah,
is it possible that it is too cold though? I mean, like seriously, like go.
It is possible. It's
reversing
possible.
this a little bit.
I mean, it's okay. I would be interested to see what it would be at like 60 degrees, 55, 60 degrees versus whatever it is now, cold. So, so maybe it'll get better. Unfortunately, I only have one that's even was refrigerated. So, but I don't know. Maybe it'll get better as the episode moves on.
I did come across this good article, which I'm going to send to my co-host and I'll put in the show notes, of off flavors of beer. I think this is something that would be, I know, Todd, you have your list of flavors. This would be something I think good to also pay attention to, which is like sometimes.
So you tell me I should add this to my list.
Yeah, when you have something that's like off and you have a hard time identifying it. So
I don't see horse blankety.
Well, I mean, these are off flavors. You know, that's something
okay.
You obviously, you're going for. But under the metallic section, right, it says a harsh metallic taste noted both on the tip of the tongue and the roof of the mouth can be felt throughout the tongue and mouth in large concentrations. Not desired in beer, also described as tinny or blood-like under the characteristics to describe it.
Okay.
I guess some of the chemistry reasons of what causes it is that it says that the ferrous iron ions and some organic compounds are formed by hydrolysis of cereal lipids in grain and oxidation of free fatty acids. It's that damn oxidation. You don't want that.
Okay.
Leo says grr.
Yeah, and like I think that's what I get. I mentioned that with bottles, I get it way more with bottles than I do cans. That would make sense.
Yeah. Basically, to prevent it, if you're a home brewer or a brewer in general, you can adjust your water to be less ferritic, lower iron water. Use some citric acid to re-oxidize the stainless steel that might have been abrasively cleaned, which might be getting that more iron particles in the beer. And then it says use of filtering materials that are acid washed to remove iron. Also using fresh, high-quality grain malt. So it could be old malt, too. But it's interesting. I always like to take a little peek behind some of these off flavors. What can we find? What can we do differently? And I notice it is like a German beer thing. I don't know if it's like a lager thing that these more oxidized, more iron beers you get. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
All right, so it's my turn to do the thing. So, Chris, how many? No. Okay, so 14,617.
Cheese and rice. I expect it's a big deal in around this area. I don't think it's great. I highly doubt it hits a 375 like y'all's. I'm gonna say it's a 362. I just have a feeling. I have a feeling it's gonna be more 3.5s out there.
It is low, but it is not that low.
Damn it.
It is a 372.
That's what I meant though. Is that
Well,
36?
Okay, so
362
Chris
Kelvin.
gets it
You've
exactly correct with a 372. But unfortunately, he's disqualified this week because he
go.
has checked this beer
Oh, have
in
I?
the past.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
you checked it in with me
Oh. Okay.
at Old
All right.
Mecklenburg Brewery.
What did I give it?
Yeah.
What did I give it back then? I wonder if it's better at the brewery.
Well, I mean, Ted called it 375.
Shit.
Ted gave it a 4.0 twice.
there we go.
But you gave it a 375.
Must be better at the brewery.
Yeah.
Dang.
But I did like how you're like, yeah, I went with Tud to the brewery in October of 2019.
I didn't.
Yep.
Probably haven't had this beer though.
Yeah, we just didn't have it.
I didn't. I guess I didn't realize it was October when you visited that time.
October 4th.
Oh dang. Okay. Well, there
if
you
you
go.
remember correctly, this was the only Oktoberfest beer at the food.
What?
I said it. This is the only Oktoberfest beer at the food.
Food cat.
The food kitty?
Close.
The grocery lion?
Food lion. Oh. It was.
You know. Chris, haven't you seen those MGM movies where like the beginning of the movie starts, there's a big lion, it goes, meow.
It's exactly what they sound like. I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about.
Well, it's 2 weeks in a row that Chris got it exactly correct, but was disqualified, unfortunately, due to having
Yep.
previously checked in beers.
I really, I hate it when I do that to myself.
Yeah. Just think, you'd probably have swept the board by now.
Honestly, I think we just start. Oh, you two start over is the only thing that makes sense to me.
Sounds fair to me.
What's funny about that is that I would still eventually pass you because I'm just better at this game than you are.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's that. If we go back to the annals of history before the whiteboard.
We're literally catching up, Ted. We're hot on your heels.
I've been on a cold streak.
gotta
It's been a long time since I've gotten a check mark, but I do get to say that I now have 40 correct check-ins.
You mean closest?
Or closest. I now have 40 of the closest
That's right.
check-ins.
You've hit the mark. It's impressive. Very impressive. So, honk, 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 honk. That was a German goose. I don't know if you could tell. I was honking in German at you.
I think German gooses are generally more angry, kind of like their whole language.
No, that was like a Volkswagen honk.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. No, nicely done. Before we move on to handles, every year I like to bring a little bit of Oktoberfest to the listeners this episode. It's the thing I do to make this episode special. And last year we did the songs.
Can you read it
Remember the songs?
in German, though?
No, I want our listeners to understand the podcast they're listening to.
What fun is that?
Do you remember some of the songs that I had for you all last year? We had like the flying like a plane and swimming like a dolphin. A lot of fun music. This year, I decided to bring the games of Oktoberfest. And come to find out, there's really only one. It's called Teufelsrad. Teufelsrad.
There's the German.
And that means devil's wheel in German. This game has been played at Oktoberfest, I believe, since 1910. Let's see what Wikipedia has to say. Nope, doesn't say. Oh yeah, devil's wheel's been used at Oktoberfest celebrations since at least 1910. I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and I want you to describe to our listeners what the Teufelsrad is.
Oh,
it's a hot lady.
Appears to be a woman versus a man. Then a whole bunch of women pile in the middle of So now they're inside of a sumo circle, and a whole bunch of women and one dude all got in the middle of the circle.
I think the dude doesn't know that he's not allowed as the guy.
Something was thrown in there though. I think they're trying to like sit on something.
Oh, now the dude was removed.
Yeah.
And now there's a woman walking around with short pants on and UFC gloves. She's removing somebody's glasses.
Oh boy, this shit's about to go down.
She's walking around.
Oh.
Now the sumo pit is spinning, so the floor in the middle of the sumo pit spins. And lifts slightly at a slight incline.
They're clapping. People are clapping.
How long did you say this game existed for?
1910.
Wait, okay.
Now
the
okay.
floor
Here
spins faster. So the goal is for the women to stay inside of the circle for as long as possible, and the thing gets faster and faster and faster.
I don't know. We seem to be at a
circle
stalemate right here.
Yeah.
But wait for the next element to be introduced.
There's a freaking cannonball.
Oh,
shit!
There's a ball on a string, which I'm assuming is weighted, and it gets spun up by the floor and then swings around violently. It kicks people out of this.
People are getting beat in the
out
face.
of the circle.
Oh. He just ate that one.
Oh, just wait. One girl just got nailed in the face with this ball on a rope, basically. It's like a pendulum that's knocking girls out of this spinning metal.
So clearly somebody's oh, now they've added another element. There's a rope that the girl with the UFC gloves on is tossing into the middle and trying to get the guy is doing it too. And they're trying to get the women caught up into the circle so they get pulled off. While the spinning ball of death is clocking people in the head.
Go on. I don't know who's got this.
There's two left. Who invented this fucking game?
I don't know.
This is very unsafe.
The Germans, man.
She won. Yay.
This woman got cleared out by the ball.
She's like, bitch, I won.
Even the winner gets.
Does she have to stay? She got it again.
Is it like a time? Is it like a time thing, or she win? She won, right? Yeah.
No, I think she just won, but
she's just getting.
Doesn't end until the last girl's knocked out.
Oh, there it goes. All
right,
awesome.
listeners, you have to go.
That's Teufelsrad.
You have to watch this because that's hysterical.
Yeah,
that should be a TV. That should be like a TV show on like Fox.
This year's Oktoberfest. This was uploaded 2 days ago. So,
congrats to the 2023 winner, Beauty and the Beast dress. I mean,
I'm sure. There's only one. You only can enter once.
That's it. We're done.
That's it.
That's ridiculous. Is it just a women's league, or is there a men's version?
I think there's got to be a guy's version, but I think it's just naturally more satisfying to watch the women get flung off of this spinning metal wheel.
Yeah, because that guy in the suit did jump in and like sat there like he was ready to go. So he is assuming that...
He didn't know that it was just the women. I think he speaks less German than Ted.
Fair.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Well, there you go. That's my Oktoberfest little tidbit. Every year I'm going to give you a little bit more information until you go to Germany. If any of our listeners have been to Oktoberfest, please send us a letter at dawfpodcast@gmail.com.
Now,
Or
what if I go to
bring it up on the
Germany?
Discord.
Are you going to stop telling me Oktoberfest facts?
Well, yeah, because then you will have to do it.
What if one of our listeners has been there? Do you stop telling them Oktoberfest facts?
Yeah, they can skip this episode.
Gotcha.
They still have to
Okay,
download
just
it.
As long as
Right.
we're clear on the rules, I just want to make sure that the listeners are not questioning like what's happening. So
Right. No, they've already, at this point, I'm sure they've deleted it. They're moved on.
Yep.
We'll never hear from them again. But again, honk, 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 Tud winner this week's Frosty mug.
Man
This
of
week's
people,
very
comma,
special
Tud. Whoop, whoop.
Frosty boot of, how do you say wisdom in German, Tud?
Give me a second there,
Rutenburg.
Obert. Don't you know every word is Rutenburg? Oh, Weintight.
And how do you say frosty boot of wisdom?
Frostiger Stifle der Weinzeit.
Okay, well, Todd, the winner of the Frostigel, what was it? Frostigel?
Frostiger
Frostiger
Stifle
Stifle.
der.
See, you're doing it too slow, so I can't remember. Frostiger stifled their wisdom.
Weisheit.
Weisheit. Okay.
There you go.
Congratulations, Todd. Jordan, only found here, is going to play this song for you. Jordan, take it away.
Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle.
Mug of wisdom.
Drink.
Mug of wisdom.
Okay, thank you, Jordan. He's ours now. You can't have him. But
Composer to the
it's that
stars.
time. We get that frosty mug of wisdom, frosty boot of wisdom out of the freezer. Fill it up with Oktoberfest hacks, Palooza figures, just things to make your life better. Dishwashing hacks, perhaps.
There we go. Now we're in my wheelhouse.
Who knows? Who knows? Todd, I'm gonna hand the boot over to you as the 40-point reigning champion here. What are you doing with this frosty boot this week? Who's going first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So my handle this week is a game that we've all played. That we've played once together, but we played it for many hours. And
It's called the Devil's Wheel.
no, and I think it's a good handle, especially if you're into Dungeons and Dragons, and you're looking for a game to play with your friends. And that's Baldur's Gate 3. So it's a computer game. It's eventually going to be out on the PS5 and the Xbox. But for right now, it's a computer game. And what it is it's a Dungeons and Dragons game as the sequel to Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. And it's a game where you can co-op it, which is what we're doing, where you can play with up to 4 of your friends. And basically, it's like playing a Dungeons and Dragons campaign that you would in person, just with the game being the dungeon master. And it's pretty cool. So you get to roll your character. Every character in the game seems to have an actor tied to it. So every person you talk to, there's like a mini cutscene that happens with it. It seems like an endless possibility of outcomes, except for one of us. One will not be named. Keeps on getting into fights every time he turns around. He ends up getting us all killed.
Yeah,
So-
Tud.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Hey, way to put yourself on blast, Todd. That's
fun
crazy.
fact, I think I haven't. I don't think I've. Oh no, I got us into one fight. I fell down a hole.
You fell down a hole, yeah.
And then Ober got us into a fight because he tried to run past some goblins. But the rest of the time, Chris has consistently gotten us into fights.
It was one time.
Every single every single time.
No,
you got yourself blown up. You got blown off a map one time. Like you got arrested. You
I
killed
got arrested
somebody
twice.
in the middle.
Yes, that's true.
You killed somebody in the middle of the street. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, the shit that Chris gets himself into is intense.
I'm really good at the game. I'm just really
He
bad
is.
at
Fun
really bad
fact,
at rolls.
he's supposed to be our charisma player that's supposed to keep us out of getting into fights.
I literally roll like I'll roll like on a DC 5, I'll roll a 18, but on a DC 15, I roll a 5. Easy peasy. Nailed it.
I will say Todd has traditionally in our group the worst luck at rolling a d20.
True.
Yeah, not this one. Not this
true.
time.
That's true. Yeah, because like there's a few where it's like, oh, you like follow the gameplay like the way you're supposed to go, and the guard is like, hey, what are you doing? And literally, I'm just like, I have no options but to say nothing. Like, I mean, like, and then he's like, bullshit, and he attacks me. But yeah, it is a cool game. It is a cool game. I kind of want to play again.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of options. It seems like there's a lot of options, assuming you have a charisma character that doesn't get us into fights all the time. But I recommend.
No, I think it's a really fun game to play with your friends. It's all the advantages of D&D, but it's also that with all the advantages of a video game. So like you don't need to have a GM. You don't need to like dedicate hours and hours to a single session, right? Like you don't have to take necessarily all the notes or the inventory management of like pen and paper RPGs. Like the video game does a lot of the stuff for you. So I'm enjoying playing with you guys.
And supposedly there's a lot of options to the game. So if you play through it once with one character, if you play through it again, you're supposed to get another entirely different story. So there's replayability too to the video game.
Very cool. I'll check that one out. Good handle.
I possibly did it so the person who's going to take the Frosty mug or Frosty boot next.
So that's why you wanted to go first.
Exactly.
I gotcha.
Couldn't use it. So Chris, here's your Frosty boot of wisdom.
All right, fine. I'll just continue in Oktoberfestapalooza fashion. Continue with video game news and updates.
So I have to come up with a video game handle now? Okay.
It's an Oktoberfestapalooza tradition.
It's true. We do it every year. I guess I already have the devil's wheel.
There you go. But for you Pokemon fans out there, I know you guys didn't see this one coming, but DLC 1 of Scarlet and Violet was released last Tuesday.
So this isn't even a video game. It's just some DLC.
It's DLC. Yeah, it counts. It's DLC. It's new story, new reintroduced Pokemon, new Pokemon. It's basically a new.
Not
video
only is it DLC, Obert, it's new DLC to a Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Well, that's on brand.
No,
Now
but I
it
mean,
is,
like,
yeah.
I don't like obviously I don't play Pokemon nearly as much as either one of you guys. But to me, it just seems like DLC is like, here's more Pokemon.
Yep.
Now, is this the first ever DLC for a Pokemon game?
It is not. No, Generation 8 also had DLC. But Gen 8 was the first ones to like introduce the DLC, as opposed to doing like a
Third
black,
version
white,
of the game.
black, white,
Right.
black 2, white 2, et cetera, et cetera. So, I guess X and Y didn't have one. Now that I'm thinking about it, X and Y didn't have a third game, but that's the only one. Huh, interesting. Okay. But yeah. So for you Pokemon fans out there, brand new DLC, reintroducing. I think it's like 93 older Pokemon and like 7 new ones, something like that. Something about those numbers seem about right. Brand new story in a new land. I guess it's a land territory. There we go. It's pretty fun. I've been playing through it on stream, and I'm not quite through the story yet because I'm really bad at focusing. But I'm enjoying it so far. It kind of reinvigorated my love for Scarlet and Violet. So if you guys are a Pokemon fan, or if you've been waiting, you're like, when's DLC 1 coming out? Last Tuesday. So go ahead and pick it up. DLC 2 is going to release this winter, so we're going to have some fun. Play some Pokemon. Catch some shinies. So
Very cool. Surprised you used both DLCs for this one handle.
Oh, wait, hold on.
I guess that's
Nope,
how it
that's
is.
Not, that's how that works. No. I need some ammo for winter 2023. Never mind. Forget that one. That one didn't count. Oh, there you go. Obert, would you like to finish it up?
My handle here, I will top off this boot, add the little the fur to the Ugg here.
There you go. Don't forget to leave a little sock above the Ugg.
Yeah, I think so. I did a video game a couple weeks ago when I recommended Prey. That was the week Chris was out, right? We did Prey, which was the game where you're fighting aliens in space.
Yep.
This I bought this game, came with like a kind of like a 2-pack on Steam called Control. I didn't know what to expect really. It has a lot of the same elements as Prey, where it's like kind of like a horror adjacent game. Like you start off the game and you're walking through the halls of this Federal Bureau of Control, which is like what's going on. It's completely abandoned. You're taking your character through, and all of a sudden you realize that this is a covert government agency dealing with paranormal activities and covering them up, which our co-hosts might recognize from a different game we play. But you quickly become the director of the Federal Bureau of Control and have to go around eradicating the monsters that have taken over the Bureau and gaining new powers. It's a fun third-person shooter. I'm really engaged in the story. I'm probably halfway through it at this point, and the gunfighting mechanics, the powers are just okay. That's not what's keeping me going. The story, I'm really enjoying on the game. And Todd, you've been nodding along a lot. Have you played this game?
So, yes, but also I'm assuming you have not played the first game in the series then, right?
No, I didn't know.
So,
this is just like called the Ultimate Edition, which I assume meant just like it was like the DLC version.
Yeah, no. So I guess I wouldn't say first game in the series. These games all take place in the same universe. So the first game in the universe was Alan Wake way back in 2008.
Oh, I played a little bit of Alan Wake.
Then a game a couple years later was called it was on PlayStation and Xbox. Quantum Break was the next one in the world, and then Control, and then coming out soon is Alan Wake 2. So if you have not finished Alan Wake, you could still finish Control, you could still play Quantum Break without really needing to understand the story. But I would recommend going back and playing Alan Wake, because you might understand a little bit more of Control by beating the game. And then Alan Wake 2 does come out, I think it's next month. Alan Wake is one of those games that I played. I beat it in one night. I was so enthralled with the game that I had to beat it in one night. So
that's funny, because I go into these games, I try and learn as little about what's going on as possible. So I'm glad you told me that, but I had no idea, because I just went and blindly started playing the game, which was a really cool way to learn to play the game. But I had no idea that I connected to this whole universe of Alan Wake games and stuff. Have you played Control yet, or no?
I have. It's all developed by Remedy. That's the game studio. But yeah, I have played Control. Control's an excellent game. It's probably the best one in the series so far. I mean, Alan Wake came out in 2008, 7, 9, something like that.
2010.
And then Quantum Break came out in the mid aughts.
2016.
And then Control came out after that, I believe.
2019.
So yeah, all great games. I'm really looking forward to Alan Wake 3 or Alan Wake 2. It just came out, or it's coming out on October 27th, 2023. So right in time for Halloween. It's the perfect time of the year to play it. I will probably
gives me a good reason to finish it too. Finish Control.
Yeah, I will probably buy it day one, and I'll be playing it on my Steam Deck because I'll be traveling that week for work. But 100% Alan Wake 2 will be a future handle.
Okay, we already have a couple previews here for future handles.
But yeah, Ober, I recommend for you, go back and play the other two. They're different types of games too.
Yeah, I think I bought Alan Wake for $1 on a Steam sale, and I played it for a couple hours.
It's probably a little bit janky
it's a
nowadays.
2-decade old. Yeah.
But it's worth finishing, especially if you're really digging Control. And Quantum Break is an entirely different style of game.
Okay, but it's ties in thematically, story-wise.
Yes.
Cool. Well, there's your spooky October handle. Ooh.
For Oktoberfest.
Frosty Boot and Die Wisdom.
So with that, we'd like to thank you for listening. We'd like to thank the breweries that provided today's beers. I will thank Norbrook Farm Brewery for the Kaiser's Oktoberfest.
I would like to thank Old Mecklenburg Brewery for their Mecktoberfest.
And I want to thank Mountains Walking for their Choppin' Wood Fest beer.
Hey, you know what, listeners? We also, really appreciate you guys, and we want you guys to join in the fun with us. So, head over to Discord and join the live conversation over there. If you want to send us an email, feel free to follow the email and send us an email at dawfpodcast@gmail.com. You could follow us on all social medias, everywhere that social media exists. We have a spot. I think we even have one on Threads now, in case you want to check us out there. I don't think we've ever posted anything there, but if you want to go follow us, Cool.
This week on the Discord, we had a whole, how do you pronounce Pepe's or Pepe's pizza? And we also had some video game recommendations. So check it out.
Yeah, there's always something good going on over there.
Potato chips, lots of good stuff.
And then, if you want to support the podcast a little bit monetarily, you could become a patron. Go over to patreon.com/DAWF podcast and you can check that out over there. Or if you don't want to support us monetarily, but you still want to support us, go leave a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcast or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast. And if you want to just do a little bit more, when you leave that review or when you leave a rating, leave a review, because the reviews help more than the ratings, but the ratings still do help too. So if you're just like, I'm just too busy to write 30 words about how great we are, just leave a star rating.
Well, you can leave a couple words. It doesn't have to be 30.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you could leave one.
Beer good.
You can leave one and just say
Podcast
great.
good. Podcast
You can just
good.
write
Beer better.
podcast. You can just write K as
Prost.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Then we know you're a real OG.
And finally, if you're talking to somebody about beer, you think they love beer, or even if they don't like beer, you think they might like podcasts, they just listen to all podcasts. Well, tell them about our podcast, because that's a great way for them to learn about us too. And with that, my name's Todd.
My name's Chris.
And I'm Obert. And remember, if you're drinking alone, do it with friends.
Should I have done that all in German?
I'm glad you didn't. Who do you think would last the longest on the Teufelsrad of the three of us?
Ooh.
I think there's a skill to doing it, which I don't understand. I mean, there might be rules why they didn't do it, but laying flat just seems like the optimal option.
I feel like, honestly, I think maybe Obert, because you gotta get the middle spot, and just banking on it, you're probably quicker than all of us. So like, if it was a 3v1 scenario,
he's also skinnier. So if we tried to duck, we'd probably get hit by the ball, and Obert may get missed by the ball.
I was going to go with Todd because I thought he would look the best in the drindle. That he probably could pull the dress off.
Oh yeah,
True.
Best. Yeah.
that is true.
I'd also probably play dirty, and I'd push you guys.
Oh yeah, there was no.
Yeah, they
it
were
was all
very
clean.
well
I'm like,
behaved.
there's
Very well behaved. Even when
Yeah,
even,
I don't
not
think
even
that
a little.
Yeah.
Not even one elbow.
No.
Like
there was
Yeah,
one time.
I don't think that would happen.
There was one time someone was being dragged off of the circle. They tried to grab someone else's foot. That was the only thing I saw. I didn't see any dirty work. I would love to see the men's version. It's probably like freaking rugby.
the three of us would last about 7 seconds.
We'd all lose.
Yeah. Like, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me, and I take you both with me on the way out.